control lane is decent enough. Liang more so, let's be realistic. But how this team plays a 1-3-1, a different game running here, Clement, of course, with the composition allowing more so for Liang, but less for how Minji hits side lanes. I'll be interested to see how they get this early game off to a decent start.
Yeah, I feel like the problem with Beyond Gaming's composition is that they don't really play a 4-1 very well. If you look at their 4-man, it doesn't have enough tank stacks or disengage. So with DZG having a triple execute composition coming from Urgot, Lee Sin, and the Jinx, I think it's very hard for Beyond Gaming to stay alive here. So most likely they will have to have Graves in most of these fights. And to me, this reads like Beyond Gaming wants to play more of a snowball strategy.
Clement, Hana has no... Hana has
wait
no
a minute.
items.
Wait a minute. Did he mess that up?
He's level 1. He's level 1 because he started red, and yeah, that's why the observer's zooming in. So the Lee Sin's level 1, and Hana, who's just had a great game to start us off, is now suddenly behind.
I thought it was some SOFMGs, and then I realized it was just a mistake.
Oh my lord.
Oh boy.
Well, already at a disadvantage, Clement, so if the early game wasn't going to be a big boon here for BYG, I think now it's going to be growing at a much more rapid rate.
Yeah, I wonder if there's... No, there's no reason to do that. Yeah, you're right. It's just 100% a mistake. Even if you wanted to, like, somehow cheese his pathing to move it towards topside, it wouldn't make sense to just drop the EXP early. So, yeah, things not going so well for Hana to start things off. You know, maybe we'll ask the players about this, but it does scream to me like this was not intentional by how far behind he is right now. 2 camps down.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough start either way. I don't know why it would be, but for Hana, he picks up the items. He's got buff to buff now. A good little ward placed here by Minji outside of the river, or rather in it. That'll spot out the support moving up. Woody was trying for an angle, but Minji backs away, not going to give the open opportunities. Husha knows. There's a Lee Sin behind as the dredge line comes through. Instant flash away. Husha matches. Everybody's in for it as well, but onto Chris Carter. They've changed targets. Wind becomes lightning. It won't be a dive, but it's 2 summoners down for the bottom lane of DCG.
Yeah, they don't get the follow-up on Woody right there, and I don't think Husha was able to get his 3 Talon Strike off, so no knock-up either. And, you know, it's still a pretty decent win for them. They don't lose tempo on the jungler, but to me, that should have been a kill.
Can they get a response, though? Under Tara, good Zenith play, the flash away from Wako, as Hana's now in here with the Sonic Wave, but no follow-through. Grabbing him as a response, and Woody has to stand behind Chris Carter, just in case that was a close call, and you'll say now, there's all summoners down for Beyond Gaming, so Clement, it is a summoner advantage for DCG, but lane advantage for Beyond Gaming.
Yeah, and Woody really can't leave the lane at this point. We will have to have Hana just escort this 3-man. We have to see. The flash isn't there for Kino.
Dredge line misses. Hana's still here, but under turret, Woody goes down immediately. But Hoosh is there, tanking it up with the Ignite down as well. Kino trades in aggro. Nesty is coming in for Beyond Gaming. A bit of a disaster. Brewing the zap, gets the kill, and now Wako with no matter in. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike not taken. Hana doesn't need to get ahead, but DCG, no, they do.
And that was such a good use of timing by Nesty. He teleports back to lane with the tier and manages to get a kill right off the bat there. It's going to take a bit of damage, but doesn't really matter right there. And this is such an overreach coming in from Beyond Gaming. I felt like once the dredge line did not land, it was probably time to call that play off. We're going to watch this one again. I feel like you have to know that Hana is around this play. The initial salvo misses. This is good game sense for Wako to tank, but it should just be a straight walk back afterwards. I don't think Kino needed to go back in and switch the aggro. He should have just walked out of this one, and unfortunately for them, they did not consider Nesty and his back timing to get that tier of the goddess.
And it's so big as well, Clement, because for DCG, Nesty, Chris Carter both got the kills there. Hana picking up one as well is going to be a great response, considering this guy started with no items in jungle and was behind in camps. Still going to be that case as Husha goes back towards his top side, but the game order is right back where it started, even gold for a team that should be behind 500-600.
Yeah, nothing happening on the top side, everything going into the bottom, and I feel like this is kind of weird from Beyond Gaming. We don't really see them focus on the bottom lane that much, but Kino is in trouble.
He's pretty deep here. A Sonic Wave needs to connect, and it does. A Dredge line out of there. Hana wants the execute, but won't get it. Nesty flashing on in to help out, but it's 3 versus 2. Now 2 versus 2, but Woody's coming in to help out. Nesty going down, but not in the nick of time. Minji now left without his jungle. A double kill already going down. Who needs items in the jungle when you just get given a triple kill in the river?
From a terrible start to 4-0-2 at 6 minutes. I don't know what to say about that one. This has just been should have been a straight abort coming in the side from Beyond Gaming. There was no real reason to funnel into this losing fight, and Nesty had some great instincts right there, knowing that even with himself going down, Minji doesn't have enough mana to kind of continue the fight or go on here, and Hana is just so damn healthy and fed at this point. He can just clean up with the triple. So I think we are going to have a complete reversal right here. That mid jungle that we're talking about, it doesn't exist, and I guess that bot lane doesn't exist either.
No, it doesn't. Look at the CS lead built up. There's a death timer on Wako. I think we've just come back, and another kill's gone over. I think Chris Carter just killed the 80 carry. I'm not sure if we're going to get a replay on that one, but at the very least, yep, we are, Clement. Let's see what happened when we're in another replay.
No summoners here for Wako whatsoever. Gets tagged by the Flame Chompers. Very well done by Chris Kata on the prediction and the coordination with Woody to kind of zone him out there. So it looks like DCG, they're not a one-trick pony. They can play a standard normal game too.
And even though this game didn't start normally, it just feels like DCG, you keep talking about game sense. I think Nesty has very good game sense. I think if we want to use that word again, this whole team is built off the momentum of how one play strings into another. They're always kind of right where they need to be.
Definitely, and we just saw Nesty give the thumbs up after a very weird paddle star being able to cross over the minions there. And this is what I was talking about. You can see Leaky level 7 switching over to the Ignite. This is your cheese Urgot pick. It's very difficult to play against. You don't really know the damage numbers that well. You rarely ever see an Urgot, so Leon is just going to take that opportunity to kind of back out. And it does seem like we are going to get a Hull Breaker on the Urgot as well. I think a very fitting item for him, as he's very clunky in a team fight, so he does much better trying to 1v2 on a side lane.
Be nice to see Hullbreaker versus Hullbreaker up in that top lane then. Hana, before he gets it, going to pay a visit to top lane, but look at the Tri-Brush ward. Not sure if that spotted him out, but Hana now going on top of the Rift Herald. Nesty at least spotted out on the roam up as the Realm Mob's coming through. Wooly there as well. Flashes on him for the Zenith Blade. Minji coming back after a portal jump, but Nesty's taking the damage. Ignite going down. Kino helps out. Hana now coming in as Chris Carter gets a nice zap, but the play ends there. Woody's still in trouble. Portal jump again, but blocked by the minions. And DCG trying to get a response play, but Beyond Gaming finally get one back.
This is why you always ban the Zoe against Minji. He's just way too clean on that play. Woody flashes in, but you can still negate the crowd control duration by using the portal jump. Really well played there by Minji to kind of get out of that crowd control for free, and even turns around the poke right onto Nesty. It was absolutely beautiful, because that was a 2v4 that Minji was somehow able to turn into his own favor.
And I will say as well, it's a 2v4 that built into another play bot. Wako was able to have solo time with the turret, picked up 2 of his own bits of turret plating as well, now heading back on in. And he's going to be able to bridge some of that gold gap that we saw Chris Carter get with the early kills and the misstep that Wako made before.
Yeah, really nicely done here, and I think this will give an opportunity for Minji to start shifting the roam priority over towards his own side. The Realm Warp isn't going to be available. Minji just died in... Nesty, excuse me, just died in lane, so it will open up some opportunities for Minji to make use of this lane that's being shoved in on the bottom side. They have the vision set up there already, and there's a lot of pressure going that direction.
Just look at the gold lead quickly, Clement, as well. DCG only with a small amount, despite having 7 kills. You're just talking about Minji and what he can do with the lane pushing. He's also got about 20 CS in the lead as well, and his lane control's been pretty decent so far. Maybe an irrelevant point, because Hana's back down here. It's going to make it hard for Minji as Dragon gets started with the Rift Herald Lee Sin, who still has 4 kills. Doesn't matter what I'm saying and complimenting for Beyond Gaming. Hana still has 4 kills and is in jungle control.
Yeah, there's no way Beyond Gaming can contest on that one. DCG has just been using these back timings really well from the opponent team. They know that Wako just went home after a big buy. And this is an interesting push here, a straight up 3v3 with Minji roaming down. I don't think this timing is that good from DCG.
Nesty does not have an unleashed teleport. He has to TP to a turret, but Realm Warp's not available. Zen has played in. Minji about to portal jump as well. Soulflare onto Husha. He's taking no damage in the Crazy Card. A 3-man Inferno Moonlight Vigil. That was just troll, Clement. I don't know what else to say.
That was so weird because they clearly spotted Husha on the back as well. They used a sweeper on the Krugs, so they knew it was a straight up 3v3. I'm not sure why DCG would stay and contest from that one. They also know that Minji is coming down on the lane.
Leaky
Whoops.
Flash, he wants the
he still gets
hits it onto
One more
Leon,
hit?
gets a bit of damage, needs an order to come
No!
through. It times out, Liang survives, but he's got help from Nesty. Liang needs to go in the 1v2. Close call. Liang will go down thanks to Nesty, but look at the bottom lane. Beyond Gaming will be happy to sacrifice his life for first turret blood.
Oh, the cheese crab works out at the very end with a little bit of help from Nesty there. You know, I think this does leave the bottom lane completely open, so Beyond Gaming are not going to be too sad overall about that play. They do wrestle the gold lead completely back into their favor with that huge shutdown onto Hana. And I feel like we're going into this game in a very even state right now. Neither of these teams at this point are really team fight focused, so it will still be about a lot of those crowd control chains coming in from both sides, either the Rune Prison or the Sleepy Trouble Bubble.
You say even, but I'm kind of scared. There's a 2k gold lead from Beyond Gaming that came from the shutdown you talked about on Hana, and we now have Minji with a bounty. So as we look at this replay again, this is the bottom lane play that they knew Minji was coming down for this.
They also spotted Xin Zhao. Like, Xin Zhao was in plain vision, and they went in onto that play. Yeah. So I'm just so confused about this one. I really don't know what DCG were trying to accomplish. There was... Like, it was a one-sided slaughter. Look at the HP bars from the side of Beyond Gaming. They took maybe 300 HP after cleaning out 3 players.
The monitors weren't working, Clement. That's why we're getting the pause.
Okay.
The monitors weren't working. Man. Yeah, that's right. Cosplay. We got the true cosplay coming through there. Hana's just going to try and show us up. So we're going to go into a pause, folks. Again, this is the most pauses I think I've had in a year and a half. Which is kind of exciting, and it's happened within, 4 series? 4 matches, sorry?
That's a little bit weird since both teams should be playing from Taipei. Usually we do have a lot of pauses because of the PCS factor of, this entire region of Southeast Asia trying to play on one league. So we do bounce across a lot of different servers, the Singaporean one, the one in Thailand, I believe, as well. So... No, it does happen from time to time, but a little bit rare to see 2 teams from Taipei having this issue.
That's right. And look, it won't be the last time tonight, even if it is 2 teams in Taipei Club, because we've seen before, it doesn't really matter. But pauses aside, we're back into the game. Beyond Gaming setting up for a potential dive in the top side. Minji's coming up here. And DCG have kept their bottom lane there. Look at that. Wow. Chris Cannon doesn't even get to play. He's blown up a Husha. And as Nesty teleports in, I don't know, Beyond Gaming might just do it again.
Yeah, I feel like just DCG got caught with their pants down. They overstayed on the dive in the bottom side. Didn't really happen. And now this top lane can't just continue to pressure here. We still have a 3v2 in the top, and they still have a lot of damage potential here. So overall, just a straight win for Beyond Gaming in this situation. Even though they lose a bot lane tower, I feel like the pressure that they've gained here is still quite overwhelming, and Criscata is being put behind further and further.
When he found that kill before, when they had such a big lead, I don't know if I curse them or what, Clement. We're talking about great game sense from DCG, but they're just either not seeing these dives coming or just not respecting that they're outnumbered or out-damaged.
Yeah, I think if you're playing a weak side top lane, you really can't afford to go for these sort of chancy 2v1s in the bottom side. The much better play would have Hana into the top side and just kind of playing guard duty instead of going for the opportunistic pick in the bottom side. You can see Leon was very happy to just kind of give over the tower regardless. So we are getting ourselves back into a little bit of a reset. There was a lot of plates going over to DCG, but this is where we really see how either composition shines. I feel like this fight is going to be extremely quick. DCG have a ton of executes, while on the meantime, Beyond Gaming are relying on that burst damage from the Zoe. So it really is kind of a first strike situation. Whoever can land that critical crowd control first will likely take away the game.
And this is why it's a good time to take stock of items, folks. Mythics, they're not mithril, but Mythics actually across the board. Bar supports for now. And we have the Hull Breaker on both Leaky and Liang. So the two L's in the top lane now joining up are going to lose a couple of bits of stats. It's the flash forward onto Nesty, but he goes golden. A perfect use as the Fear Beyond Death from Leaky needs to hit, but one member already down. The Rise goes down, and for Nesty, that makes it a 5 versus 4. A lot of burst damage from DCG, but the executes, Clement, that you were talking about, they haven't gone off.
Yeah, the flash in from Nesty, I think, was a little bit premature on that one. They also burned Leona's engage, so they don't really have a lot of good opportunities to attack Beyond Gaming anymore, and they just have to withstand the poke from Minji. Minji really had all of that planned out quite well, you know, just going in there, and now he lands a Sleepy Trouble Bubble to force Leaky away from his tower.
You talked about it, Zoe. It has been clinical here. Once again, Minji setting up a play, and because of that, Beyond Gaming is going to be moving to their first dragon of the game. We get ourselves an Infernal Salt. So one apiece. DCG picked up one earlier, while Hana is just on top of this Rift Herald, while the rest of Beyond Gaming are going to back away. So it just feels like every time we see a fight, Clement, every time we see a trade, Beyond Gaming are getting more and more. It feels favored in their court, and again, I want to come back to what you said. If the executes don't go off, the time and space that Beyond Gaming have is instrumental.
Definitely. I feel like DCG, they have to rely a little bit more on Woody to find these engages. Seeing Rises run to their deaths has been a trend today, but it's not a trend I like seeing. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for it to be happening. Good find here by DCG, taking away a straight tower. This should be relatively safe. I don't expect them to be... Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait. Safeguard or not, Minji comes in at half HP. A dredge line to stop the Realm Warp. Beautiful stuff from Kino. Nesty is going to be isolated, and as he gets drawn around, Beyond Gaming will finish the deal. Minji again landing every single thing.
Yeah, I feel like Lee Sin could have gotten out of that situation a little bit sooner. As a jungler, you can just drop the Herald and go. Like, you'll still get the gold there, right. But unfortunately they overstayed. Minji with another great find, like you were mentioning, and just another big kill out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't think that really needed to happen, and it will give quite a decent tempo swing for Beyond Gaming here.
I don't think a lot of the things from DCG needed to happen in this game, Clement.
True. That bot lane was such a head scratcher.
That was egregious. The fact that I don't know, I still can't get past it after there had been so much good return on the investment that Hana started off jungle slow, he invested his time down bottom lane, gave a kill over to Nesty and Chris Carter, and both of those carries have been getting caught out or been the sum of their parts, in which the total sum has just been failure. Kino dodging away from the Zenith Blade, Leaky actually exhausted out, depth charge on him as well, end of the line it might be, and here's Hoosier on the backside, collateral damage lines true as Wako's ultimate with the Moonlight Vigil hits short, Hana flashes over the wall in the end. Trouble Bubble lands from downtown Minji with another flash as well, but he won't burn it. And DCG walking into the bear pit, Clement. That's free honey.
Yeah, that was kind of weird to see, because you could tell that Woody was the one that wanted to start that fight off, and Kino just realizes, wait a minute, we actually have the numbers advantage here. What are you guys doing? And just turns it around onto Leaky immediately. So DCG just, their fight selection this game has been, I think it's been a little bit off. They're just not, you know, accounting all the members here. If you look at the map, really, Nesty is nowhere near this fight. While you have everyone already collapsing on the spot, so Beyond Gaming have a much better read here. The teleport time still takes quite a while to reach its destination. Leaky is dead right off the bat, no execution time, whatever. They don't even need the Moonlight Vigil, and they're just forcing flashes away, so once again, it just feels like, you know, they were bringing a 4-man party into a 5-man death trap.
It's sad to watch, but also great to see from Beyond Gaming. Pulling the pieces apart from DCG, kind of exposing a bit of a weakness here, Clement. After the games we've seen from them so far, their early games have been pretty routine, have been pretty explosive with roaming support. But even in the Veigar game as well, right, we saw Heimerdinger neutralize bot. This time around, in a more standard draft, you'd call it, DCG, their decision-making has kind of been kaput as Beyond Gaming has started testing. Yeah,
when you don't get the extra member by running Smite top, I feel like DCG, This is the problem when you only train one strategy, or not only, but when you go too deep into one strategy, it starts seeping over into all of your other games. You start thinking like you have that extra member in all of your skirmishes.
True.
And unfortunately, that's just not the case. You know, this is why I said from a coaching perspective, it's really difficult for teams to overinvest too much into niche strategies because you can't pull it out of you when you want to.
That's right. And for DCG, costing them dearly here in their second game of the day. 4-0, but not sure if that's going to hold true with Beyond Gaming really testing their limits now. We're going to take stock of the game here, Clement, because 35 seconds until that third dragon spawns up. Ocean Souls on the Rift, so it's a big one. We've got second items coming through from 4 members of Beyond Gaming. Zonya's second here for Minji, but I've noticed the LDRs actually come through from Wako to start tearing through Leaky, Nesty with the Rise tank build, and even Woody on the Leona.
Yeah, this is a build definitely set up more for the late game team fight compared to something like the Executioner. And, you know, we're getting a view of the items here. On that point, we also have the Even Shroud coming out from Kino, an item we haven't seen. Oh,
Kick.
Hana.
Oh, Hana's kick, not great, and asleep at the wheel. Woody shouldn't be driving. Depth charge, and meanwhile, the passengers are feeling the heat. A nice little trouble bubble again from downtown. The dredge line short, but Liang waiting for Leaky to wake up. Beyond Gaming with another pick, and I don't know what to say at this point, Clement. DCG just flopping all over the place.
Yeah, that was another instance of DCG engaging when they were 4v5. So once Kino just turns around and pops the aftershock, he's completely fine.
Look at this. I mean, I don't think Hana should have blocked that. The leash is not even as tanky as Leaky. There's a 3-level difference, and Minji's doing what he pleases while Liang gets the dragon. Excuse me, it wasn't Ocean Soul. It's actually Infernal Soul, so... I think at one point, we were saying that, Beyond Gaming are just out of this game. I'm ready to say the same thing again in reverse.
Yeah, it's been a very weird turn of events all over the... I'm just not sure why Deep Cross Gaming keep on engaging when they don't have Nesty present. And, you know, they really had split target focus as well. Like, they were going for the support at the same time. This will work a lot better, though.
Okay, yeah, it is a lot better. There's 4 members on one target. The Crescent Guard not going to save the life, but Minji's still here. And as Woody goes to sleep, Wako tries to clean it up, but DCG now in with a fight as Minji tagged out by Nasty, and I like this a lot more, Clement. Nesty, excuse me, gets a double kill as Liang's in off the wing. Woody getting targeted out as well. Minji burning down, but he's gold with the Zonya's Hourglass. Hana now off to the wing as there we go! Sniped down from Cascada and the fight goes forward. DCG were out of it before as Fear Beyond Death misses only just onto Wako. And Clement, we were dissing them, they hurt us.
This is the fight we wanted to see. The big difference here is that they saw Graves side lane split pushing, so we saw Liang having to burn his teleport just to get into the fight, and that's a much better catch. You have your numbers advantage, you know where the enemy team is, and sniping down Minji was absolutely crucial to taking down this Baron. They might not get it just yet, though.
They gotta get it. Okay, they're out with the Realm Warp as well. Liang was standing in front of them like in a movie from an old western. Clement, DCG, Baron in the back pocket, and game in their gold lead somehow.
I'm just happy that we have the closest game of our split so far. Taking it from the front, much better catch because they just saw the Graves backing in the top side. So they know this is at least an even numbers fight. And Beyond Gaming, they try to salvage this, but they do end up kind of, you know, throwing dumplings in the pot, going in one by one. And unfortunately, second rotation not landing for Minji means that they have to overchase just for the support kill. Great snipe coming in once again from Cascada. Checking if this is blind. Completely blind. Finds the target before the portal jump. Well done there. If Minji was alive, I don't think they could have taken Baron.
True. I mean, doesn't matter how low he is. His snipes have been supreme. So a crucial pick to lead to the Baron, to lead to now the gold lead for DCG. Continue more of what we saw in the early game, which was the setup from Hana, the triple kill Lee Sin starting to dominate. Clement now with the Baron buff and the 3-item rise. Walk me through what the side lanes look like. Walk me through how the Baron play plays out here, especially with Urgot on the side as well.
To me, it just feels like DCG just want to group up for objectives, and they want to play this brawly style where they can always threaten with Realm Warp into your backline, make sure you can't escape with the fight. It's going to be very difficult for Beyond Gaming. They only have one source of poke on their team, and typically that's not enough to dissuade someone from just camping onto the objective. So I feel like right now DCG have multiple ways to finish off this game. They just rise split push, group for objectives, and it's really Beyond Gaming that has to pull out hero plays from essentially only Minji.
Hard again with the Baron wave in front of them. Look at Woody. Solar Flare dodged away from by Wako. Gale Force as well. That was smooth. And now too deep is Hana. Woody giving himself to safeguard too, but Husha with the ultimate. A two-man Moonlight Vigil. Hana burning down. Ticking over the side. He survives, but look at mid lane here. Woody and Chris Carter against the world. Zap down on Kino as Leaky snipes down, but Kino is not in kill range. Maybe he is! What a combo out! Leaky with the snipe down is successful in the end.
Absolutely great stuff from the execution, and that's exactly what we want to see. Jinx gets powered up, no real chance for Beyond Gaming to fight back. Great stuff from Wako, but I think it was interference by Nesty onto Minji that really saved that fight. If Zoe was there, and with that amount of summoners, it probably would have been very bad news.
Going in, though. The fight's not over yet. 1 versus 4. The rest of the team behind him, though. He's bought time with the disdain as well. Realm Walk was just a fake out. Slowed down with the Everfrost as well. Look at where Hana is. Look at where Hana is. Climb at the kick. Backwards as well onto the jungler. Husha targeted down with the Crescent Guard. DCG blown up themselves though as Hana is burning down. The red buff doing work, but Chris Carter going forward. Clement, we said it was going to be a banger, and this game's delivering to be so.
That was so close to being a complete wipe there. If Chris Carter got one more kill, he could have finished off the entire team. But he doesn't find it in the very end, and Minji has a couple of close calls as well. Both teams fighting tooth and nail, just trying to find those executes and kills down here. We're going to watch it again from the start of this fight. Absolutely beautiful stuff from Wako, but as we can see on the left side, the key here is like Minji really getting tied up by Nesty, so Minji isn't able to join and just chase down. I believe there had to be some summoners being expended here, so if Minji got in there, it could have been a massacre. Oh, just so sweet.
Good. I just love the little combo. It's simple, but the timing there, and that's kind of what we talked about with the coordination. Despite the mid game we saw from DCG, Clement, they're kind of back on top. We are seeing the power that has led this team to a 4-0 start of the split.
Yeah, and right now DCG are riding on a huge high from Chris Carter. He has that Infinity Edge complete, extra crit damage coming out. Compared to only the 2 items from Aphelios, he's still struggling, as you can tell in the gold, about 1k behind here. This is going to be a difficult defend for DCG. Again, all eyes on Minji.
But also Chris Carter's response there in Q form. You can see that Minji's starting to take a response piece of damage. Every time he portal jumps in, Clement, DCG now waiting there a little bit more patient than before. Leaky sitting around in the bottom lane by himself, trying to get Hullbreaker passive, but as Chris Carter moves in, they're grouped up like you wanted to see them, with Nesty on the other side with Realm Warp and Teleport available.
Yeah, I don't think Hana actually has a good target to kick back. Wako still has both of his summoners up, so it's just about the threat and clearing the wave. It does look like Beyond Gaming actually find a timing to even reset this.
Okay. Even Leaky thinking about doing the same. We get another pause. That's Super PogChamp. I just noticed Leaky has he has Cleanse and Barrier, so we're looking forward to see that in action as well. I don't know what you make of this game so far, but DCG absolutely floundered their lead earlier on. And then Beyond Gaming walked in and kind of did something similar, and we're at a pretty even point with DCG starting to take down turrets and build themselves up a gold lead from the Baron.
Beyond Gaming have just never been a team to walk away from fights. I think that's been their main flaw over the couple of splits that we've seen them in. And this is really an experimental roster for them. I don't think we've ever seen them really play a poke composition. They're much more about 1-3-1 flank engages or just running these kind of brawler-esque comps. Now they have the tables turned against them, and I'm not sure they know how to deal with this situation. Like, they need to draw out these fights, allow Minji to get the damage in. But at the same time, I feel like DCG are at the point where they're tanky enough to take a lot of these hits on different members. If you just land Paddlestar into Lee Sin or Leaky, it really doesn't affect their game plan, and they will continue to just bulldoze your towers.
Yeah, and that's why, again, in this game, we didn't talk much about the tank Rise build that we've seen most of the time, but it feels more effective in this game now that we see the Force of Nature just complete as the 4th item for Nesty at the 28-minute mark.
The key thing about this tank Rise build is you really want a composition that just wants to go in all the time. So pairing it with bruisers like Leaky and with Leona, I feel like is a much better fit. We have seen a lot of like tank rises and the rest of the team is trying to play keep away, that to me just feels like kind of a waste. But in this time when you're going face first and trying to use Realm Warp to maximum efficiency, it makes a lot more sense.
That's why, again, it's going to be hard here. You were talking about Minji, and I love the points you bring up. Target to hit have to be pretty good, and the fights have to go for a hell of a long time for him to whittle away at that front line or even try and find an angle on Chris Carter. Beyond Gaming have gone in deep to try and get some vision away, but DCG are pretty comfortable right now. They've got a control ward right there on the other side of the red wall. Deep ward from Beyond Gaming that's going to spot out what they need to know at the red buff. But still, Baron is secure, and Nesty is pushing down on the bottom side. So I feel like Beyond Gaming, Clement, are getting stretched pretty thin here.
Yeah, a lot of their, I think, picks are starting to just descale in this situation. Both the Graves and Zoe not as impactful into the late game further on. Right now, I feel like DCG, if they just target down Wako, they take away the sustained damage, and they are safe to do whatever they want with the remaining members.
Does have Infinity Edge, I want to point out. We're talking about items before. 3 versus 3.5 here with the Vampiric Scepter from Chris Carter. So some of that poke as well, less impactful on the AD carry if Chris Carter doesn't get 100 to 0.
There's a lot of different ways that DCG can play this. You know, focusing on Wako is one, but another just easier way is just kind of kill Busha at this point. He is not tanky enough with only 2.5 items against a 3.5 item AD carry, and everyone just piling damage onto him. So the key thing is DCG, they just get an execute. Chris Carter gets excited. He has sustain to go through the fight. He has, you know, a ways to drop aggro with the stopwatch. They should be able to finish things off quite easily here. It's just about making sure they don't pick fights like a 4v5. That has been the main issue for DCG. Like when they have been in the lead multiple times, they just go like, let's chance a 4v5. Let's see what happens. If they don't do that, I feel like they have a pretty good grasp on the game.
Okay, that's something easy for me to understand. 45 seconds till Dragon, folks. If Beyond Gaming haven't done their due diligence, sitting on a ward. Now, if DCG were here, I feel like the game would be over. There'd be a huge engage, everyone would be jumping into the brush, and Beyond Gaming would be kicking themselves.
Yeah, all they have to do for DCG, don't engage 4v5 and don't bunch up. Like, we do have Infernum on Wako, so there's still potential for him to completely team wipe. But as long as you keep your carries away from your front line, you should be fine right here. Minji poke at this point is barely a concern. You know, he's still reaching for that, item name kind of escapes me. Yeah, Horizon Focus at the moment, and he's still way too far from being a real threat.
Well, Soulflare comes out. They've got the 80 carry onto Wako. Again, the kick goes backwards, but sends him out of the fight. Instead, Kino's the one dying. Is right in the middle. Again, not tanky enough, you said, Clement. Well, Hoosh dead as Wako tries to run in to bring it back. Low health bars on DCG. But Beyond Gaming left without a prayer. Nesty flushing over the wall as a portal jump buys time. All you can do is buy a prayer. Liang is running for the hills. And ladies and gentlemen, just like that, DCG are going to run right into the base. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike. Hana almost kills him in his track, but DCG don't have to worry about him anyway.
Way too easy of an engage coming in from DCG here, as we have Wako, the one being focused down on. He has to burn his summoners at the start of the fight, but we don't have a clear wipe just yet. Still 32 minutes into the game. Chase down did take a while. They should be able to pick up the Baron. But again, I feel like this is a situation where Beyond Gaming don't realize how much danger they're in. DCG can easily take the fight with their much beefier front line. And they have no vision on the left side. Wako's still walking up like that in front of enemy team members. This to me is just kind of a lack of understanding of what the terms are in this fight right now. So very easy fight by DCG. Great World Warp from Nesty to go into the back line and just limit what Minji can do. All around, simple, effective play.
Yeah, it really was. Nesty finishing up the final kill. In the replay, you saw Baron was contested there, but Leaky was the only one who had to burn the flash. Baron secured on all members. As Beyond Gaming at least going to be getting this Soul Point Dragon, which is a decent deal, but DCG, Clement, just have so much gold in their pocket, I don't think there's going to be another one.
Yeah, I feel like DCG can kind of just A-click into the base at this point. They just try to take advantage of the fact that Beyond Gaming has no sums. So if you want to execute, you've got to execute. It's so easy to pull that off. I wanted to say execute, but I realized that execute doesn't mean the same thing. But Yeah, we'll see. This is just, come on, DCG, just walk into the base. There's no chance.
That's level 18 Urgot. You're right, there's no chance he has Ghost. I'm assuming that TP might change into something else depending on how the situation goes. Chris Carter hit though. Big mistake. Realm Warp to get him out of there. And away he goes. Kino not going to get the dredge line in time. And you know what, Clement? The way Beyond Gaming come back into this game is a DCG misstep.
I didn't expect that. There was one member that was susceptible to that sort of damage, and somehow Minji is able to find him through a minion wave. Pretty impressive stuff coming in for him. DCG still going in for round 2, though.
Yeah, Minji still the person to watch, even though we talked about him 3 levels behind at this point as well, but doing a pretty good job if you can get Chris Carter. But DCG back onto the inhibitor round 2, net success. 2 inhibitors dropping down, speaking of, with the minion wave coming in. Beyond Gaming on their last legs here in this game. About to go 2-2 if DCG have their way. Staying undefeated in the league, Clement, after what has been a roller coaster of emotions this game. Would be one hell of a way to finish it off.
It definitely would be. And this game was so clean from, I'm sorry, not clean from the execution perspective. That would be completely misleading, but I mean clean from like a drafting idea. I feel like they really put Beyond Gaming in a tough spot. And a lot of times it's not really about the comps that you draft, it's about whether the team has the history of piloting such compositions. And I don't think Beyond Gaming really has a good track record of playing this type of composition. A composition where you have to be very careful about your flanks, where you have to, not run into team fights. If you think about the teams that Wako has been on, AHQ style or Boom Esports style, they really allow him to kind of just walk in on teams and not be too concerned about his own well-being. This is not one of those team fight compositions. And Leaky already shining the white flag here. He knows it's, we have the famous saying here, it's how to lose in Chinese. So I feel like that's what DCG are just throwing at Beyond Gaming. They don't really see a possibility of them dropping out of this one.
It's so funny to me. Leaky was flexing that in the lane before when DCG started throwing all over the place. So the dichotomy of this team, apparently. Clement, they start the bridge into the base once again. Look at the minion wave crashing in. Liang has to deal with it while Minji's trying once more. But as the snooze comes through to Nesty, he definitely doesn't lose. This will continue happening, guys. Just look at the wave coming through. Eventually whittling down Beyond Gaming. Something's got to break. DCG are like, well, maybe we're just going to go back. Okay, nothing breaks. Forget what I said. It's going to be a slower game than I thought.
Yeah, this is... I feel like this is kind of a weird timing for DCG. They are building up critical items like the GA, but to me it feels like they could have used those 2 waves of super minions to try to get a little bit more out of the bot lane. They decided to play it ultra safe, which I respect, but it does give Wako a little bit more time to get critical items as well. As you do see, Wako has been, keeping up with the pace of Kriskata in terms of his items, and that really is the only saving grace of Beyond Gaming, is that they have 200 years on their side. There's no telling what one Infernum can do to a team.
That's right. Clement, sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked. I noticed that the CTBC bank had the card with Yuumi on it. Now, I hate Yuumi, but I realized I think there's one in Australia, so I'm kind of keen to, I'm kind of keen to get one. Minji looking for a Sleepy Trouble bubble again. And bringing my eyes back on this game, the one thing we're going to look towards Beyond Gaming, if they can steal themselves a dragon. Infernal wouldn't change the whole pace of the game, but would give you so much for the Zoe, who's now 3.5 items, and is heading towards that Void Star 4th. Clement, 30 seconds till that spawns. DCG are going to try and bait them and lure them into the Visionless Rush.
I don't think Beyond Gaming is going to bite here. DCG only sitting on 2 Drakes, so... they're pretty much banking that Minji wants to try a steal and get that Infernal Soul, but even with Infernal Soul, I don't think Beyond Gaming actually has a winning, gets their chances up to a winning side yet. So I really don't see Beyond Gaming venturing outwards. As I say that, Kino just walks forward.
Ventures outwards? Well, Dragon's just going to be sold by Nesty in the meantime. They're going up towards Baron. That's in 20 seconds. The base completely undefended though, and the bottom wave will be pushing in. Now, Leaky's not attending to that for now. It's just Liang, but he has a teleport as well. So Dragon that leads the soul point. DCG moving up to Baron. Wards were dropped down. I'm surprised this game is still going after what a lead DCG have taken.
Yeah, I think this is going to be our first 40-minute game of the PCS. I'm really surprised that Beyond Gaming somehow has vision control outside of their own base. That's that's very peculiar to me. They're not really under much pressure on their own base here, so this will be a straight-up team fight.
Yeah, the double play comes through. Nesty hitting from an angle immediately. Liang's dead. The Beyond Gaming trying to defend this game, but I feel like it's going to be over before it's begun. Super Death Rocket blocked, but Chris Carter has free access, and Waco's in the middle of it, in front of an Urgot. The Chemtech Baron having a great time. Woody happy to sacrifice his life versus Minji, as Chris Carter gets excited once again. Clement K. Chu hits a triple kill to end us out, and DCG are going to remain lossless here in the PCS.
They do have to finish off this inhibitor first, which only Kino to defend, so we should still be expecting a 5-0 here for Deep Cross Gaming. Very easy to brush off that final team fight. Graves ends up being the one face-checking. They kill him off, and unfortunately for Wako, he completely whiffs the Moonlight Vigil, so none of that